Hello and welcome to HiveState Bakugan. These set reviews are starting to be done. We're almost there for Bakugan Resurgence. We are already into Ventus. And, well, we're just going to go ahead and get started. Let's get into the actions. Beginning with Crystal Quake. This is a 4 energy action that lets you draw 2 cards. So, we've seen cards like that before. I've found that they're better in certain ways, but let's see what the Turbo does. Turbo, if you have the most energy cards, give an opposing Bakugan minus 700 B power. So not only are you refilling your hand, you're hurting something as long as it doesn't have Shadow Strike. It's okay. I can actually see this being played at some points a bit better than the other one that I use, so maybe. Atropic Blast, 1 energy for this card, minus 200 B. That is so small and minute, it is almost never worth it. But it does have a turbo. The turbo is 1 energy to minus 400 B instead. Honestly, if this was a 2 that does 4, or minus 8, or even if this was a 2 that minuses 300, or if you have turbo it minuses 8, I think I would rather play that. It's such a small little wiggle room that early game, it might help you win some things. Good early game. But then later on, it's just dead in your hand. And I would rather have dead cards early than dead cards late. Huge Knowledge. This is my favorite card released so far. I want all of them, not a play set, not just like a couple binder pages full. I want all of them. I want as many as I can possibly get my hands on of this card, just because it's beautiful. Both the effect, everything about this card is beautiful. It doesn't go in many decks. There's actually very few that it fits in, but I love it. Look at this turtle. Just look at the beautiful, beautiful turtle. It costs 10 energy, so it's very hard to play unless you cheat out in certain ways, or maybe you're playing Ventus and you already have the thing. This turns on Winton. If you can play this, as soon as you drop this, boom, Winton works. What it does, energize each card in your discard pile uncharged. So the turn you play it, hopefully it's early on in the game. Like, I would love to flip this off of some of the Pyrus cards. Like, getting this off of a Dan is beautiful, especially if it's like first roll after a Dan. Now you can play anything in your deck. It's nice. But in saying all of that, very, very few decks will run it correctly. But I'm glad it's here. Nature's Blessing. This is a 5-drop action. You must reroll your Bakugan, so it's not a choice, you have to. If you open on the reroll, it gets plus 10 damage and Shadow Strike. So, first off, unopposed rerolls are easy. You can still miss, that's a possibility, but they're a lot easier than just rolling with your opponent. And for 5 energy, it's giving you plus 10 damage, which is what it should do anyway, and Shadow Strike. So even though the concept here is good, I think the cost is a little too high. So next we're going to be talking about Rabbit Attack. I like this card. It's 4 energy to play, and it only gives you 4 damage, which is not good, but it recharges your energy cards. So if you have the 4 to spend on it, I mean, it's free, and you get all of your energy back to play whatever you wish. That's good. And you're just getting a little boost in damage. The damage, I don't even really care about. It's pretty much the energy recharge that I like this card for. The damage is just a little bit of icing on the cake. Shatter Fist, 1 energy for plus 2. I won't play this, except maybe paired with Aquas to boost flow. But then again, there's other things I'd rather turn flow on with, so Solar Powered, 3 energy. Energize this card uncharged, and you may reroll your Bakugan. So it's a 3-drop reroll that gives you an extra energy next turn. It doesn't just get discarded. I'll take it. It's not bad. It's definitely usable. Stone Blade, 1 energy for this one, plus 2 damage. So, okay. If your Bakugan's holding a Green Fist, energize this uncharged. This is great in Green Fist decks because it boosts you really well. I don't even care about the 2 damage. If this was a 1 energy energize, as long as you're holding a Green Fist, I think this may still even be playable. So I vote yes. Next up's Tangle Vines, 4 energy for this one, and it's minus 800B to the opposing Bakugan, and you may reroll your Bakugan. So 4 for minus 8. Minus 8 is a big enough minus that it might actually help. And the fact you get to reroll your Bakugan, well, I mean, if you missed and you play this, 4 energy, reroll, and your opponent's at a disadvantage, I think there's a good chance here. Trimmer, 3 energy for this card, minus 6 damage. Okay. If one of your Bakugan's holding a shield, draw a card. So, depending on what your opponent's playing, this could just stop you from taking damage one turn. It won't help on some turns, it'll just barely do a thing. And the fact that you have a chance of drawing is nice, but it's finicky in my opinion. Ventus Shield's the next one we're going to look at. 2 energy to give your opponents minus 200B and minus 2 damage. I do not like this card. I will not play this card. Minus 200B power, whoop-de-doo. It's so small that it's almost never going to help. There are situations it will, but that's anything in a card game. Minus 2 damage. Basically, you're paying 2 energy to either have an effect not matter or take a couple less damage that really doesn't matter. I don't like it. I won't play it. Ventus Mirage, however, 2 energy. The opposing Bakugan must re-roll. This is a good card against new players. People who still haven't fully got the, or nervous players, I guess. So maybe this could win you a game in a finals. But if you're competent enough at rolling and you have the full hide matrix or a good bit of the hide matrix out, it's an unopposed reroll. So, I mean, it's probably just wasting 2 energy. I could see this at 1 energy, maybe. That's still pushing it to me. Diamond Mantanoid, moving into the evolutions. This one is a 6 energy for 1300B and 6 damage. It does what it does. Diamond Tertonium. This is a 4 energy one, 800B power and 10 damage. So the damage is nice. Whenever it opens, you can swap the Baku Core with an opposing Baku Core. I like that effect depending on the decks that you're playing, and every time it says may, it makes me smile. So lets you always get the best Baku Core. Diamond Webum Ultra. This one is 8 to evolve, so it's expensive, for 1500B and 15 damage. Probably not for that much, and it doesn't do anything. I would rather play the other Webum, which we'll get to in a second. Hyper Garganoid Ultra, 1 energy, 500B, 4 damage. Okay. Turbo, if you have the most energy cards in play, plus 5 damage. Not terrible, especially considering it's a 1-drop. It's a maybe for me. Hyper Crocelius Ultra. This one's a 3-drop, 600B power, and 9 damage. And whenever you play it, you give a Bakugan minus 4 damage. So, I'm not a huge fan. Hyper Serpentine. This one's a 3-drop for 900B power and 4. So, not too bad for a 3. And if you land on a Green Fist, plus 6 damage. This is actually pretty decent. So, I like it. No complaints from here. Hyper Serpentine Ultra. This one's a 2-drop for 700B power and 6 damage. And whenever it opens, you can recharge up to 2 of your energy cards. The turn you play it, it doesn't do much, but I mean, you can get it free if you play this first roll and stand. But after that, you can fiddle around with this. It's only 2 energy, so it's not a huge margin. But how many times have you played a game and went, man, I'm 1 energy short? This fixes that. Hyper Trox Ultra, 2 energy for this one, 700B power and 5 damage. Victor, you can energize a card in your hand uncharged. It helps. Trox Ultra is a little bit weak, and this does bump it up to a decent amount for only 2 energy, so it does help. Maximus Gortheon. This one's a 7 cost for 1,000. It's a little weak, and 12 damage, which is pretty good. And you get to re-roll this once each turn if you miss a roll. So I'm not a fan. For that cost, it's just not worth it to me, even with the reroll. Maximus Gortheon Ultra is a 5 cost, 900 B, so its Bs aren't great, as again. 8 damage, okay. And when you play this, give a Bakugan minus 800 B power. Minus 800 for 5 isn't, well, I can't really say it's great, because 5 energy on a card should give you plus 1000 B. So it's a little... Ventus Gortheon just isn't my thing. This is the Webum I was talking about. Maximus Webum Ultra. It costs 7, which is pretty expensive, but you're playing Ventus, you've probably got that. You're fine. 1200 B. The B's not bad. Maybe expensive, and there are definitely cheaper cards that have higher B power, but this B is playable. 14 damage. That's good. Pretty good damage. And if you miss, you reroll. It's not the first time. Every single time you miss, you reroll. So you are going to stand with this Bakugan. It's great. I was actually playing a game the other day against this, and whenever you roll, miss, roll, stand, the 1200 beat mine, and then without playing any cards whatsoever, he was like 14 damage. That hurts. That is over a fourth of your deck. It's a good card. Titan Fangs Ultra. This one costs 4 energy to play. Only has 200 B, which isn't great, and 2 damage, which also isn't great. But if you land on either of the 2 most common cores, so either Green Fist or regular shield, plus 1000 B and plus 10 damage. So this is a 4-drop that is almost always a 1212. That's a good 4-drop. So I like it. Titan Garganoid Ultra. This is interesting. I'm actually thinking about running this in a deck here soon, so maybe. It costs 5 to evolve, which is a hint high. And it has 9 damage, which is just, it's okay. 9 is good. But it gets plus 100 B for each energy you have in play. It starts at none. So as soon as you play it, it's a 5-drop 500, which isn't good whatsoever. But let's say this is paired with a card like Huge Knowledge, which we saw earlier, and you have, well, let's say you have 15 to 20 energy. If you have 15 energy, this is a 1500. Let's say you also have Winton in play. Things start to stack pretty good with this card. I think I really like it. Titan Serpentine Ultra, 5 energy for this one. This one has 1000 damage, or not damage, that would be a lot of damage. 1000 B power and 7 damage. Whenever it opens, you can recharge all of your energy cards. That's really good, actually. You can drop your hand, do whatever you need, roll this, recharge everything, and still have your energy to play. So whether you win or lose, as long as you rolled, you've got your energy. As long as you roll and stood, at least. Titan Trox Ultra. This is a Bakugan Elite, I do believe. 5 energy for this. 1000 B power and 10 damage, so it's okay. Victor, you can energize any number of cards from your hand uncharged. They come from your hand, so it's okay. But if you control Winton, this is a 2000 B power, 20 damage Bakugan. That's rude. So, hey, might want to use this, never know. Hyper Tertonium Ultra. When it opens, you can swap one of this Bakugan's Bakukores with the opposing Bakugan. 800 B, 10 damage for 4. Okay, it's possibly play. I don't know. I feel like I'm arguing for it whenever I don't care. Moving to flips. Rock Riser. This only costs 1 energy. Stops shields and magic shields. I don't care about this one as much as some of the others. If you're running mostly a shield deck, it's good, but Ruin. 1 energy to recharge your energy cards. yes, this is a flip card I very much like. There is nothing negative about this flip card. You spend 1 energy, you have all of your energy. So if you flip this early, cool. If this is your only flip, you've recharged all of your energy and you have it to spend and play cards. This is a fantastic flip card. Love it. Web Snare. Free to stop a Flaming Fist. Don't care about this one too much, honestly. The free's nice, but Flaming Fists are a hint rare, so it's more situational than I would like a flip card to be. And last is a hero. This is China Riot. 3 energy for this one. And when you open a Bakugan, you can energize a card from your hand uncharged. Okay. I don't like that it's from your hand. I wish it was from your deck. Especially for 3, but it has its place. Actually, no, I'm not going to argue for it. That's the end of this little Ventus section of the set review. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell because Aurelus is coming soon. But whether you do or whether you don't, you'll see me when you see me.